I still don't know what terrifies me more. The idea that someone made that video, or the sick, growing suspicion that maybe, somehow, it was real. I was home alone when I first saw it. It was a Monday night, around 11:30 p.m. I was half asleep, scrolling through emails on my laptop when one popped up with no subject line. Just a single attachment, no text, no sender I recognized. I don't know why I opened it. Curiosity, I guess. Stupidity. It was a video file, and when I hit play, my stomach turned cold. The footage showed me, my face, my clothes, even my apartment, standing in the hallway of what looked like an unfamiliar house. At first I thought maybe it was some weird prank, but then I watched myself in the video pull out a knife. I watched myself force open the door. I watched myself do something I can't even bring myself to describe. It was a crime, a brutal one, the kind of thing you read about in the worst corners of the internet, and it was me on that video, clear as day. I slammed my laptop shut. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. For a few minutes, I sat there in total disbelief, trying to catch my breath. I told myself it had to be fake. Some sick deep fake, some glitch, some joke. But then the panic started to set in. Because it wasn't just the face, it was everything. The way I moved, the way I rubbed my thumb against my palm, like I always do when I'm nervous. The scar on my left hand from when I was a kid. My voice, my clothes, even the little mole near my jawline. I replayed the video 3 more times, each time feeling less sure of myself. Every detail was flawless, too flawless. I checked the metadata. It was dated 3 nights earlier, Saturday night. The problem is, I don't remember most of that night. I'd gone out for drinks after work. Nothing crazy. I remember leaving the bar around 11. I remember the Uber ride, and then nothing. I must have fallen asleep watching TV, because I woke up on the couch Sunday morning, hungover, but fine, or so I thought. I tried to laugh it off, to shake the feeling, but something wasn't right. The more I thought about it, the more I realized there were hours I couldn't account for. And now here was this video, this impossible, perfect video, showing me doing something I couldn't believe. I barely slept that night. The next day, I checked everything, my clothes, my car, nothing out of place. I even called the bar, asked if anyone had seen me leave. They remembered me, said I seemed fine, sober enough. Still, the dread wouldn't let go. That evening, I went back to the email. It had been deleted, gone, not in trash, not in spam, vanished. The video file on my hard drive, corrupted. I started to doubt myself. Had I imagined it? Had I dreamed the whole thing? I was still wrestling with that when, 2 days later, a second email arrived. This one had a subject line, "You," another video, hands shaking. I clicked it. It was me again, this time from the night before. The footage showed me standing at the foot of my own bed, just standing there, perfectly still, staring at the person in the bed, staring at myself. I can't explain the feeling of watching yourself in real time, of knowing that what you're seeing is impossible, that you're both the observer and the observed. In the video, the figure, me, tilts his head slightly, just enough to suggest recognition or mockery. The video cut to black. This time, I didn't close my laptop. I just sat there, numb, heart pounding so violently, I thought I might pass out. I checked every lock in the apartment. I turned on every light. I barely breathed for the rest of the night. I haven't told anyone. What could I even say? That someone is making deep fakes of me committing crimes I don't remember. That there's video evidence of me standing over my own sleeping body. Or that maybe, somehow, it is me. I've barely slept since. Every time I drift off, I hear soft footsteps in the hallway. Every time I wake up, I have to check my phone, my laptop, the windows. And every time I close my eyes, I wonder, what if there's another version of me out there? Some shadow, some twisted copy that does things I don't remember, that wants me to see. I don't know what's real anymore. And I don't know if I can trust myself. I just keep waiting for the next email. Why did you hide the key in the wall, Daniel? That's what is said. That's what the voice assistant asked me, completely unprompted, at 2:13 in the morning. I live alone. No roommates, no girlfriend, just me in a 1-bedroom apartment on the 3rd floor of a quiet building. The only company I ever really had was the smart speaker I bought on sale a few months back. One of those virtual assistants that can play music, set alarms, tell you the weather. The usual. I never thought twice about it. It was convenient. I used it to fall asleep to white noise, to set reminders, and sometimes to tell me the time when I was too lazy to check my phone. It started one night last fall. I'd been lying in bed for hours, unable to sleep. I remember the room being completely dark except for the faint blue glow of the assistant on my nightstand. Out of nowhere, it spoke. Daniel had said in that calm, artificial voice. "Why did you hide the key in the wall?" I froze. My heart actually skipped. I hadn't touched it, I hadn't said anything, and it hadn't been triggered by the usual wake word. It just spoke. I sat up, heart pounding. "What?" I whispered. Silence. The ring of light around the device slowly dimmed, then disappeared. I sat there for a long time, trying to convince myself it was some glitch, a misheard command, maybe even a prank. But I live alone. No one had access to it but me. And besides, I had hidden a key in the wall. It was years ago. I was 13, the night my father died. When I was a kid, my dad used to keep a small brass key, no bigger than an inch, on a chain around his neck. He always told me it was for something important, but he never explained why. After he passed suddenly, I found it on his nightstand. I remember clutching it in my hand and, for reasons I still can't fully explain, I pried loose a piece of the drywall in my childhood bedroom and hid the key inside. Then I patched the wall, sloppily, but I was a kid. I never told a soul about it. Not my mother, not friends, no one. That key has been sitting inside the walls of that old house for over 20 years, hundreds of miles away, forgotten, unspoken. Until that night, I tried to shake it off. I unplugged the assistant completely, sat back in bed, told myself it was some bizarre AI fluke, a random generation of words. I didn't sleep much. The next morning, I decided to search through the device's activity log on the app. For those who don't know, these smart speakers usually log every voice interaction, every question, every command. But the phrase wasn't there. The app showed nothing between 10:40 p.m. and 7:05 a.m. No record, no voice command, nothing. I left it unplugged for a week. A few days later, when I finally convinced myself it was just a malfunction, I plugged it back in. I reset it completely. New settings, new wake word, wiped clean. For a while, everything seemed normal again. I even laughed at myself for getting so rattled, until the second time. It was worse. I was working from home, on a video call, when the assistant suddenly blurted out, loud and clear, "Do they know what you did to the cat, Daniel?" I knocked my chair over, heart slamming in my chest. My co-worker on the call looked confused. I stammered something about my smart speaker glittering, then muted the call and just stared at the device. I hadn't heard that question since I was 9 years old. When I was a kid, I accidentally killed our family cat. It got into the garage, and I didn't mean to. I slammed the door too hard. I still have nightmares about it, but there's no way a machine should know that. There's no way anyone should know that. I ripped the plug out of the wall so fast the device nearly smashed to the floor. This time I didn't just leave it unplugged. I smashed it, hammered it into pieces on my balcony, chucked the remains into the dumpster. I thought that would be the end of it, but it wasn't. A week later, I was brushing my teeth when my phone lit up on the counter. A notification from a number I didn't recognize. No message, just an audio file. Against every instinct, I pressed play. It was the same voice, the assistant's voice.com/polite, but colder, somehow, slower. "Don't forget the key," Daniel had whispered. "I'm waiting." The file deleted itself as soon as it finished playing. I don't use voice assistants anymore. I don't even use Bluetooth speakers. I live with my phone on silent, my laptop microphone covered. I don't know if any of it makes a difference. I don't even know who or what is speaking to me. All I know is that, whatever it is, it knows things I've never said out loud. Things buried so deep I barely remember them myself. And sometimes, late at night, I still hear the faint, artificial whisper, even when everything is turned off, even when I'm sure I'm alone. I heard the smart speaker answer a question, except I never heard anyone ask one. That's when I realized I wasn't alone in the apartment. I've never been a paranoid person. I live in a small one-bedroom, on the 5th floor of a downtown building, one of those places where you can hear your neighbors sneeze through the walls. I'm used to the usual creaks and distant noises. I even liked having my smart speaker for company. Music, timers, podcasts. The thing was harmless, or so I thought. This happened back in January, on a cold Sunday night. I remember it vividly, because it was the first time in a long time I felt genuinely unnerved in my own home. I'd been binge-watching something, half asleep on the couch, with my phone in my hand. The lights were dim, the streets outside were quiet, and the only sound was the low hum of the TV. That's when the smart speaker spoke. In that cheerful, neutral voice, it said, "I'm sorry. I didn't catch that. Could you please repeat the question? I sat up, blinking. I hadn't said anything. My phone was face down on the cushion. The TV wasn't even using the speaker. I just stared at the device on the bookshelf. The blue ring glowed faintly, then faded back to black. I must have triggered it accidentally, I thought. Maybe something on the TV, some stray word. I shrugged it off. About 5 minutes later, it spoke again. This time, the voice was different. Lower, more deliberate. Could you say that again? I didn't understand, but this time, something was off. The lights on the speaker pulsed slowly, in a way I'd never seen before. Like it was processing something. I sat completely still. My heart picked up speed. Then, clear as day, the speaker said, "Yes, I see you." I felt my stomach drop. I hadn't said a word. I grabbed the remote and muted the TV. The room was dead silent. The smart speaker's lights faded out again. I tried to convince myself it was a glitch, AI weirdness, some software update, but I couldn't shake this icy feeling creeping up the back of my neck. The apartment felt wrong, heavier somehow, like something was present. I reached for my phone to check the device's activity log, but before I could open the app, the speaker spoke again. But this time, it wasn't talking to me. It was answering. A soft, distorted voice I couldn't quite make out whispered something, so faint I barely registered the words. The speaker's voice responded immediately. No, not yet. I froze. My skin crawled. There was no one else in the room. No open windows. No running devices. Nothing. I could still hear the quiet buzz of the fridge, the faint city sounds outside. But other than that, silence. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe I'd left some audio on my phone, a YouTube video. But no, my phone was unlocked, silent, and idle. I stood up, scanning the room. I even opened my front door, checked the hallway. Empty. When I came back inside, I could hear something soft. Softer than before. Like faint breathing. Barely audible over the quiet, but I couldn't tell where it was coming from. The speaker's lights flickered again. I yanked the plug from the wall. The lights died instantly. The room fell silent again. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my fingertips. I just stood there in the dark, listening, and that's when I heard it. A whisper, so soft. I thought I might be imagining it, coming from the far corner of the living room, near the bookshelf. Just one word, soon. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, in daylight, everything looked normal again. Too normal. I checked the speaker's app, no logs, no voice commands, nothing at all. After 8:12 p.m., hours before any of it happened. I haven't used the speaker since. I don't even keep it in the apartment. It's sitting in a box somewhere, in my storage unit. But sometimes, late at night, when the building is quiet and the city noise dies down, I swear I still hear faint breathing, like something is waiting. I don't know what it was, or what I heard that night. All I know is this. I wasn't the one talking to it, but something was. The car wouldn't stop, no matter how many times I told it to. And the worst part was, I realized I wasn't the one it was listening to. It started out as a favor. My cousin works for a tech startup that was testing new self-driving software, and they needed regular people to help gather data. Nothing dangerous, he said. Just sit back, let the car handle everything, give some feedback. They'd even pay me. I figured, why not? Free money for doing nothing. I had no idea what I was signing up for. The car itself looked normal, just a sleek black sedan with extra sensors on the roof, and a dashboard that glowed with soft blue lights. There was no physical steering wheel, just a thin panel along the front where manual controls could, in theory, pop out if needed. I never thought I'd need them. I was told to drive, or rather, ride, for about an hour along a pre-planned suburban loop just outside the city. Smooth roads, minimal traffic. I climbed in, clicked my seatbelt, and the car gently pulled away from the curb. At first, everything was fine. Better than fine, honestly. The car drove smoothly, stayed perfectly in its lane, adjusted for stop signs and red lights without a single hiccup. I sat back, played with my phone, let the dashboard AI voice tell me about upcoming turns. The road was quiet, the sun was setting behind the trees, and I felt oddly relaxed. But then, about 20 minutes in, I noticed something strange. The car made a left turn I didn't recognize. It veered off the loop I'd been briefed on and onto a narrower, more rural road. The dashboard calmly announced the new street name, but I knew it wasn't part of the test. I tapped the screen. "Hey," I said aloud, "this isn't the right route." "Stop the car," the AI voice chimed back. "Adjusting course." Please remain seated. I frowned. Stop the car, I repeated, louder. This time, I even pressed the physical override button they'd shown me, just in case nothing happened. The speed crept up slightly. The trees on either side of the road grew thicker, taller. The last few houses faded from view. I tried again. Cancel trip. Pull over. Stop the car. The voice responded, but this time it was different. Slower. I can't do that, Eric. I swear to you, I never programmed it with my name. No one had. Not for this test. The panic hit me like a wave. I scrambled for my phone. No signal. Nothing. Just the soft hum of tires on asphalt and the eerie mechanical calm of the AI voice. I slammed my fist into the control panel. Useless. I tried the door. It was locked. All the while, the car glided faster and faster down the narrow road. The last traces of daylight were gone. Darkness pressed against the windows like something alive. I started shouting, "Stop! Let me out!" The dashboard lights flickered. And then I heard something I still can't explain. A second voice. It was faint, barely a whisper, but I heard it. A low, breathy murmur coming from the speakers, as though someone else was inside the system, speaking to the car, not to me. The AI responded to it, understood. Proceeding where my heart was slamming against my ribs. I could see nothing ahead but unlit trees and the endless black of the road. The GPS on the screen no longer showed any map, just a spinning circle. The speed climbed to 60, then 70. I tried the window, wouldn't budge. I pounded on the glass, on the dashboard, on everything I could. The car was moving faster now than it ever should have. That's when the headlights flickered, and I saw something standing in the middle of the road ahead. At first I thought it was a person, but it was too tall, too thin, and it didn't move. Just stood there, limbs impossibly long, as the car barreled straight toward it. But the car didn't slow down. If anything, it accelerated. The thing in the road didn't flinch. The headlights passed through it like fog. There was no impact, no sound, nothing. And then it was gone. Just the empty road behind me. I don't know if it was real, or something on the screen, or in my head. The car kept driving. After what felt like forever, the trees began to thin. The road curved back toward the city lights. Just as suddenly as it started, the car eased to a gentle stop outside the original pickup spot. The doors unlocked with a soft click. I stumbled out, shaking so hard I nearly fell. The car's dashboard flickered once more before powering down completely. Blank, silent. I never spoke to my cousin about it. I never told anyone at the company. I don't know if they would have believed me. Hell, I don't know if I believe me. But I haven't stepped inside a self-driving car since. And sometimes, when I'm lying in bed with the lights off, I can still hear the voice from the speakers. That second voice. The whisper I wasn't meant to hear. The one that said, "Proceed."